Welcome back, Tubal Views. Today I'd like to talk about and perhaps take the side of people who wet sand boats. Not that I want you to wet sand a boat, I absolutely do not. Only 2% of boats I've ever seen actually need it. But I also see a lot of detailers who claim that they're really good at buffing boats. And this is a guy who thought he was good at buffing a car. The problem is, after the wax wears off, you're left with all the microscopic scratches that you left in that surface. And if you do it wrong, they're just going to show up as bright as day. It's gross. Let's see. This is a boat that I did 3 years ago. You may remember there was a large fuel leak coming out of this vent, and it looks like they still have some fuel leak issues. You can see there's a little bit of a dull spot there. This is 3 years later. You can probably still see the reflection of this bar here. I just wanted to kind of stop by. I saw this boat on my way to work and remembered that this had been a boat that was done a while back, so I thought I would take a look at it and let you see. It's not always the dark ones that I do that still have a reflection a couple years later. I will admit that the dark ones tend to fade out a little bit quicker than the white ones, but that being the case, you can still probably can't see my watch, but you can see the reflection. It's in there. Looks good. Not great, but it looks good. So 3 years, and this is the reflection you get afterwards. And this is just for all those people who comment on my videos saying that the reflection will never last longer than a couple days or a week. Yeah, whatever. To Ken A and Chris L, I very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much. And for some of you out there who think that maybe you could doubt what I'm telling you is factual, I haven't touched this boat, I think, about a month. It's just been sitting here getting trashed out. But you know what's neat is it hasn't started to fade out yet. So in the comments to this boat that I'm doing here, you might see some people say, oh, the only way you can get that oxidation out and make sure it stays out is to sand it first, wet sand it. Well, okay, if you say so. And then they'll tell you that if you buff it, you won't get any of the oxidation out, and you'll only get about 3 days, maybe 3 weeks worth of protection. So again, I haven't touched this boat. She's just been sitting here. I've been waiting to do the back half of the hull, but I haven't had any time. And as I'm no longer working at that boatyard, Terry, I swear to God, I'm totally sorry. I will not be able to finish that boat. So, my mistake. You're not going to see this fade out in the next couple months. In fact, this will probably stay as glossy and shiny as it is right now until this time next year. The interesting thing is, I don't believe I even put wax on this. I think it's just compound. So just the compound alone is holding up. And it's not the compound, it's the Gelcoat itself. Once it's shiny and all the oxidation's out, it's just like a new boat. So it'll take a while for this to oxidize, just like a new boat. Sorry, beating a dead horse. All right, back to it. So here's what I'm talking about. Most people who wet sand a boat will tell you that a buffer absolutely cannot get all the oxidation out. And even if you could, you're definitely not going to leave a smooth, swirl-free finish. It's interesting to me because a lot of people see stuff like this and they think, ooh, you just rub the compound on and you put the wheel on and wow, look at that reflection. And yeah, there's a reflection. It's not outstanding. It actually has a bit of a swirl in it. But when I'm done, I try to make the swirl uniform so it doesn't kind of look like that truck. If anything, the swirl starts at the front of the boat and goes all the way to the back in one contiguous line. And if I can do that, well, that's awesome. But after the wax is gone on top of this surface that I've compounded, you're going to see the marks left by the buffer. It just is what it is. Now, this boat in particular, I wasn't using the 3-step combo of compounds and cleaning it and waxing it. I was just compounding it, cleaning it, and waxing it. So the compound that I used was a heavy cut, meaning that while it does finish off to a nice smooth finish, it's not as fine as a finishing compound or something that I would normally use. This boat entirely was a demonstration of how to do a boat kind of quick and still do a fairly decent job. But wet sanders will tell you that there's no way you can do this and take all the oxidation out. And I'm here to tell you, it's because they've seen enough people buffing boats and doing it wrong that, you know, they've made up their minds. And this is a boat, as an example, I think what I'm pointing at here has gotten a little heavy cut, maybe some Super Duty. Probably just heavy cut, if I remember correctly. And it's not perfect, but it's starting to look really nice. And then if you finish up with the next compound, in my case it's Perfected EXAC by 3M, you get this. Now that, once cleaned and locked in with a good marine polish, is there for a long time. I anticipate that this boat hull will look probably like this for a good 3 years solid, without any major degradation to the shine. So I'm officially agreeing with a lot of wet sanders out there that buffing sucks unless you do it right. And in that light, wet sanding sucks unless you do it right. As an example, around these curved areas, around these little vents, it might be a little tricky to get wet sanding to take all the oxidation out and leave that rounded surface round and not flatten it out a little bit with the wet sand. That's all I had, guys. I appreciate your time.